So I live in the UK, and that may confuse some people because I've been told that I have an American accent, and this also means that we received this Venom sequel 2 weeks later than the other countries. Even though there was a premiere of it already in the UK, the main actor is British, along with the director, and I guess Sony really didn't want to compete with James Bond in the box office. So I decided to use the time to rewatch the first film, which I haven't seen since it was out in cinema. And let me just say that I hated it back then. I thought it was boring, and the trailers misled the tone of the story from this dark, gritty genre to a comedy. But that was 3 years ago. I now have a better idea of the movie style, so let's see if my opinion has changed. Spoiler alert, it really didn't. Before we get into the video, I just want to ask if you can click on the subscribe button. It's free, I promise I won't flood your sub box, and you can unsub anytime you want. Now, enjoy the video. I'll start off with the things that I liked about this movie, just to be fair. I like Venom's design, he's intimidating, I like the facial expressions that he can make. If I were to change one thing, it would be that they should include the spider emblem and the white hand marks. I understand that Spider-Man is probably not in the universe and that Marvel Studios intentionally removed Tom Holland's cameo, but I can think of another way that they can include it, which may involve the multiverse. Another thing that I liked was the robber being eaten by Venom in the end. It captures my favorite aspects of him, that are the horrifying and humorous traits, like in the Spider-Man PS1 game.
Shut up, Brock. We don't have time.
Parker! Wait, could it be?
Could what?
Yes, we sense our other.
Who? Since who?
It's our other, the symbiote known as Carnage. We must stop him.
Now?
Yes, now. We have no choice.
Plus, it was a fun way to display Venom's sense of poetic justice. I also enjoyed the first few minutes of the riot fight, until it became a video that you shouldn't be showing to kids. One last thing, I liked the Spider-Verse teaser in the end, because it showed off a better movie. Okay, I'm desperate to make fun of this film, so let's just get straight into it. The story is confusing tone-wise. Remember when I said earlier that I should have a better view of the story with my second viewing? Well, I was expecting an opposite attracts comedy mixed in with some serious moments, but all I saw was a movie that attempted to be grim and was held back by its PG-13 rating. For instance, the CGI looked like it belonged in a straight-to-DVD Nickelodeon movie, but this is the same company that has made the symbiote look convincing in 2007. My theory as to why it looks like shit is because it's supposed to make scenes with that terrifying tone look less scary. This scene gives me alien vibes, but the intentional bad CGI makes it less creepy when you look at it. Another issue that I have with this movie is how boring it can be. There is such a far cry from creativity, which is disappointing that it came from the same person who directed Zombieland. Let me point out the boring thing number one is Venom finally uses his powers at the 51-minute mark, and it takes him 1 hour into the movie for him to make his final reveal. There's 50 minutes left of the movie. That's including how many minutes they inserted into the credits. And when they do finally reveal him, he's just a gooey Hulk mixed with Aquaman, instead of, a muscular Spider-Man. Like, instead of making him swing back into the motorcycle, which even the Fast and Furious franchise would be ashamed of, why not let him swing away? In fact, at times the movie just feels so generic. Main character is living his best life until he makes one big mistake. Main character gets powers from sneaking into a place that he shouldn't be in. Main character meets an unlikely pal that can somehow relate to him. Main character and pal separate, just so one of them becomes vulnerable. And then you have the villain. And this is going to get slightly political, which let me just add, just like Riz Ahmed, I am a Pakistani Muslim too, which I know might sound like BS considering I told you that I am British and I have an American accent earlier. But as a kid, I always wanted a brown fictional character to look up, and whenever there was a Halloween or those costume days for school, I would feel insecure about dressing up as a white fictional character. It didn't help that a white guy named Jack literally pointed that out to me too. But seeing Riz Ahmed, who I think is a terrific actor and has been in a lot of solid movies, play a huge role in a Marvel movie, that's great. More kids that were like me back then could dress up as him. Even if he's playing a villain, it would still be cool to see, and still a lot better than playing a stereotype. But this character is the most blandest freaking villain that I have ever seen. At first I said to myself, at least he isn't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. But then 49 minutes into the movie, I changed my mind. This villain is so boring that I keep forgetting his actual name. Even though Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is much worse, he's at least given me material to make fun of him. Riz Ahmed's character has the most generic bad guy intentions, you know, to save the world, I must destroy humanity complex. It's just so overdone, but again, very boring here than anywhere else. And it's kind of disappointing here that the writers didn't think that there could be people who want to be fans of Riot and Riz Ahmed's character. And another thing that I found was disappointing was the connection between Eddie and Venom. Venom's sacrifice was not earned at all because their connection wasn't real to me. Let's summarize their relationship. Venom infects Eddie when he tried to save his homeless friend. Eddie runs back home and does the same thing Andrew Garfield did when he gets powers in The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Venom uses Eddie's body and tells him to cooperate or else he will die, which is something that Eddie may have misinterpreted. Eddie separates from Venom after he was told that Venom is killing him. It is never explained whether Eddie was dying before he had Venom or what. Venom infects his ex just so he can infect him. Eddie doesn't even question whether Venom is actually killing him or what. Then Venom all of a sudden has a change of heart and wants to save the world, even though he hasn't really experienced that many good things on Earth. And then Venom sacrifices himself for Eddie, but psych, he survived somehow. It's like one of those cliche body cop movies without the build up or even fixing the unresolved issues. Even a movie like Stuber was able to figure that one out. Last few points about the movie being bland. The acting and performances are vanilla, kinda surprising when they cast the best actors for the protagonist and the antagonist. The music was just not even memorable at all, especially compared with the other Spider-Man movies. Other than an Eminem song, which is mostly used ironically on TikTok, and Woody Harrelson has funny hair. So overall, I'm giving this movie a half a star out of 5. I'm hoping that the sequel is a lot better. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like, and if you have any thoughts on this movie, then feel free to comment down below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as hit the notification bell if you want to keep up with the latest videos, which could be a Let There Be Carnage review, who knows, and see ya next time.